Good afternoon, everyone. Today's video is going to be a video of products that I sought out to buy based on others' recommendations, things I was seeing on YouTube at the time, things that I actively went out to find. Either I got online and tried to find it, or I went in store and some of them were sold out, so I was kind of like hunting other places. Now, if you watch any of my other videos, you know I get a lot of things from TJ Maxx, so it's kind of, what's there is what you get. But the products in this video are things that I went out and I searched for, or I ordered because I heard such good things, and that doesn't happen a lot. That's kind of all there is. I have a lot of stuff from TJ Maxx, I'm realizing. It's not that I didn't know that, but these are things I really went out and I was like, I have to have these products. So that's what we're putting on today. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with eye primer, and for that I'm using the MAC Paint Pot. This is very new to me. I recently, in the last couple, maybe months, picked this up. And this is obviously cult classic. Everybody loves it. All of my eye primers actually fall into the category of things I bought on recommendations. The MAC Paint Pot is something I was wanting to try for a very long time, but I could never justify the price for what it is. I had other eye primers that were a couple bucks. I finally splurged on it and I really do enjoy it. So, on the opposite end of that, we have the face primer, which is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I'm sure most people remember when this came out. And this, I think, was a product that was sold out all the time. And I finally got my hands on it. This is actually my second e.l.f. Putty Primer. I have the matte one, and I also have the Cookies and Dreams one. I also have that. I'm going to go ahead and blend this in. I haven't filmed in a couple of days, so I'm trying to get my last declutter video to post. That will be posted by the time that this is posted, so I apologize for the length of time between the videos on that. A little iced coffee, the loudest drink ever. Okay, we're nice and primed. That's all good. I'm going to put some clips in my hair before I do foundation and such. Just to hold this back a little bit. Okay. Let's see if we can move through this without a neighbor mowing today. Fingers crossed. For eyebrows, the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This was actually the first brow product that I bought. And at the time it was only $2. I think it might be $3 now, and this is something I have repurchased multiple times. And this is good. I would say this is a good brow pencil. Fills them in. Works nicely. I don't like that it rolls itself down. As I'm using it, this will kind of roll the product back in. It's kind of annoying, but I only paid $2 for it, so I guess I can roll it back up. Oh, now seeing what I have out, I should have done my gel first, but I didn't. Oh well. My brows have been unruly lately. I've trimmed them almost every day on the outer corner, and it is just back with a vengeance every day. Okay, for brow gel, this was actually a very, very recent purchase. Just a couple days ago. I've not had this very long. This is the e.l.f. Brow Lift Gel. And it actually looks totally clear. It looks like a hair gel. And the directions for this are to use it before you apply your pencil or pomade. Or I guess it says to apply it to clean brows. They are not. So we're going to wipe the spoolie off a little bit. I'm going to brush this. I'm going to brush this through my brows. I was actually really surprised. This didn't hold as well as I thought it would. I'm going to apply a little less product than usual and not push it down as much with the other end of this. I did buy the brush for this and everything. I kind of thought it would be like the brow soap thing they have from the Electric Mood collection, kind of like that brow soap gel thing. And I feel like that actually holds better than this so far. Okay, we're just going to leave that alone for now. That might be part of my problem, is messing with them too much. But this is something I sought after. I couldn't find this at any Walmart. I ended up getting it from Ulta, and it was out. They didn't have the brush. They didn't have this. It was out of stock. Finally, it all came into stock, and so I went and did the curbside pickup at my Ulta. But the Brow Lift is one of my newest sought after products. We are moving on to foundation, and for that I have the L'Oreal Trumatch Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Again, one that was kind of hard to find. I did pick this up. This is kind of pricey. I think this was at least 14 something at Walmart. The packaging of this is terrible. Like, there's no stopper. When you take this out, this is covered in foundation. And then the dropper actually works, which is nice. But then you have it coming out of the dropper and off the sides. It's a mess. It's a mess. I did dampen a sponge, but I think I might grab a brush for this actually. This is a good foundation, but the packaging of this, like, I feel like it just needs like a little bit of a stopper to prevent it from all coming out at once. Lately I've been using a sponge to apply my foundation, but specifically with this being like a serum, I wouldn't, using it with the sponge, it definitely soaks it up. So I think that this one is worth the hype, but they need to figure out that packaging. So there is our L'Oreal Trumatch Nude Tinted Serum. Really, really pretty. And actually has really good coverage for being a tinted serum. Like, I thought it was going to be just absolutely sheer. And then you may ask, well, why did you buy it if you thought it was going to be sheer and you weren't going to like it? But watching other people, I watched reviews. I didn't just go out and buy it. And it looked nice on other people. So I was like, okay. And this is in the shade, where is it? 0.5 to 2, very light. It is a weird shade range. And I think they're going by the fact that it's like a tinted serum and supposed to be really light coverage, but I feel like it gives pretty decent coverage to where they maybe could use a few more shades. But on to concealer. For concealer, this is actually like almost gone. You can actually see through the side over here. Look at that. Okay, this is the Covergirl Trublend Undercover Concealer. And this is really nice. This is one I've used. I think I've used one of these up, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have. And I actually have another color of this in like 150 or something. M150. And my dark circles are in charge today. So we're going to add a little bit there. On the nose, on the chin. I'm going to let that all kind of set for just a minute and dry a little bit. And then we will blend that in. Somebody's mowing. Somebody is mowing. Alright, we're going to blend in this foundation, or this concealer, excuse me. I'm going to take this little fluffy brush and go above the brows. Blend it down the nose. Between the eyes. I'm going to take a bigger brush and go under the eyes. Can't believe somebody's mowing. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. I'm going to take my foundation brush and just smooth all that out. Now at this stage, I normally would go in with powder, but another one of the products that I actually bought because it was so hyped up, I bought this off of Ulta a while ago, like when these were really popular. Had these for a bit. The Flower Beauty Blush Bombs. Does anybody remember these? And I have the 3 lightest shades in Pinched, Nectar, and Bubbly. Now, I am not a huge fan of these. I feel like these take off my makeup. But I think I'd normally use them over my powder. But I am going to go ahead and add this now and see how I feel about it. I've been meaning to retry them anyways. So today is the day before I do anything else. I'm going to apply this blush. I think I'm going to go in with the Pinched blush. I feel like these blushes don't show up. Like when I blend them, it blends out to like nothingness. And so many people were recommending them, and Jessica Braun was one that talked about them all the time, and she would swatch them on her hand, and they looked gorgeous. I was like, mine don't look like that when I swatch them. Then she had to get a new one. When she got her new one, she said, this does not look like my old one. It's not as pigmented, you know, it's kind of like blending out to nothing. And I was like, okay, so it wasn't just me. It's not just me not knowing how to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this. And it may just be that I like a darker blush. I don't know. So we're going to try this. See, look, you saw how much I added. Like, you can barely tell I put anything on my face. Again, maybe it's just me. Does it look like I have blush on? I mean, seriously. I put on a lot. I just don't feel like, yeah, I think that just made my decision about keeping these. But there's a lot on my face. Like, I can feel it. You can see where it should be. I mean, I guess if you like a really subtle blush. Sarah Rose. Sarah Rose was the other person I heard talk about this, where it just kind of, hello? Blush? Hello? Like, I feel like you can kind of see, if you knew that I put blush on, I feel like you can tell that I put blush on. But if you don't know that, like, it just, and then it kind of creates this line right here. There's always this line between my concealer and my blush. And when I've done it before, I set my under eyes or I set my face first. And then I was like, oh, it's picking up the powder. No, I can see it over here. It's just doing it on its own. I feel like you can't even tell. Like, you can't even tell I put blush on. Except for right here, where it made a weird line between my foundation and my concealer. So I'm going to go back over all of that with my foundation brush. Just that little crease it made. I don't know. I'm not impressed with those. I'd never used cream blush before that, or liquid blush, and they're so hyped up. I was like, I gotta have them, and didn't like them then, don't like them now. Onto powder then. We'll just go ahead and powder over all that and do the other products, and so I'm not even worried about it. It's not like you can tell I even put it on. Again, if you like a super subtle blush, maybe, but a very hyped up product when I first started watching YouTube was the the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. And I have purchased probably 6 of these at least in my lifetime, and I love it. I have one open, I have a backup, I always have one somewhere close. And this is still one of the cheapest powders you can buy at the drugstore. I don't hear the motor anymore. Maybe he heard me complaining. So the hype on this was well worth it. I have loved this since the first one I purchased. Very, very, very good powder. Now, this other powder that I'm going to use for the rest of my face is the Infallible by L'Oreal, the 24-Hour Fresh Wear Powder Foundation. Now, if you watch my backup bin video, I have another one of these in there. And I have 2 of these because I couldn't find my shade anywhere. Like, I could not find this. Any Walmart, any, drugstore, could not find this powder. So when I finally found it, I was like, okay, I have to grab 2 in case I love it. Now, I've not even gone through this one yet, but you can see I've made a really good dent in it. Like, I used it a ton. I used it a ton when I first bought it. And do I think it was worth the hype? I don't know about all that, but it is good. It's a good powder. So I'm going to grab a brush, and I'm going to set my face with this. It is a powder foundation, so I'm not going to go too heavy. But yeah, this is an example of something that I should have just bought one. I didn't even know how I felt about it. And then by the time I knew how I felt about it, it would be in stock because it wasn't so viral anymore. But no, it's like, no, I'm going to love it. I got to have all of it. And this is in the shade True Beige. Yeah, 130 True Beige. I do have like the shade 5 or 10 or something like that. And it actually is like very, very yellow. This is actually a much better undertone for me. So this is one that was definitely hyped. That is why I bought this. I did not need another pressed powder, but in that moment I needed another pressed powder. For contour, we're going to kind of do a throwback here. This is the Pixi by Petra, the Natural Contour Powder Shape and Shadow. I don't even know if they sell this anymore. And I really like this. It is actually a contour powder. This is not a bronzer. Like, if you look at the tone of that, it's very, very like gray. I really like it. So we're going to put some contour on with that. Now, I will say I don't think this was like super hyped up. It wasn't like everywhere necessarily, but I don't have a lot of contour powder. I have this one and then my Kevin Aquan, which I did get from TJ Maxx. But that was definitely a hyped up one as well. The Kevin Aquan. Okay. I'm gonna grab my little nose contour brush. I haven't used this powder in a while though. This is really, really pretty. I've been focused on that Kevin Aquan one. I only have a couple contour powders anyway. So it was kind of hard to find one that I actually went out and like searched for because that just wasn't the case. The NYX blush was one I looked for. And this, I don't even remember where I got it. I don't know if I got it at Target. I may have gotten it at TJ Maxx. I really have no idea. So I'm like, but this was definitely one that a really nice contour powder was something I was looking for. For bronzer, I have the L'Oreal Trumatch Lumi Bronze It in 01. This was one that, I don't even think she makes videos anymore. Julie Dawn Olsen, I think, was her channel name, had talked about this a lot. And several other people at the time, Jessica Braun, as you can tell, I liked watching Jessica. I feel like she talked about this one a lot, and as you can see, I really, really like it. We're getting down to the outsides. And I remember buying this because I thought at the time, I've had this for years now, it has to be, I don't even know how long. And at the time I bought it, it was like, I want to say like $14. L'Oreal can get pretty pricey, right? And this definitely was up there. Okay, at Ulta, this is 15 bucks. So it probably was close to that at Walmart. It probably was like 11 bucks at Walmart when I bought it. But I don't know, I was like, man, that feels expensive. I will say I've gotten more than my money's worth out of it. It's been really, really nice. Okay, so we've got that. Nice and bronzy. Maybe a little more than necessary, but I just really like this bronzer. For blush, we're popping back into Flower Beauty. I got these at the same time I got the liquid blushes, and I fell in love with these though. The Flower Beauty Flower Pods Powder Blush. This was actually the first one I had, and this is in Peach Primrose. And once I fell for that one, I ended up getting 3 others in Hibiscus or Warm Hibiscus, Sweet Pea, and Wild Rose. Beautiful, beautiful blushes. I love these. And I've not used this one in a minute, so I'm going to use this. The Peach Primrose. And unlike the liquid blush, it actually looks like you've applied blush to your face. They are just a plain matte blush. They do still sell these. They actually came out with 2 other shades. I wanted those. I still want those. I was looking them up just the other day. It's part of what made me think of this video was I get so much at TJ Maxx, but there are certain things like that brow lift was a recent product. The other 2 of these blushes. I also want the Flower Beauty Cool Tone Bronzer. I haven't been able to find that. They have it at Ulta, like online, but I can't actually go in and get it. I'm going to add a little bit of Warm Hibiscus over the top as well. This is a shiny one. The only shimmery one. The rest of those are matte. Add a little bit of that. Ooh, that's more pigmented than I remember. These were really popular for a reason. I love these. These are so nice. For highlighter, the MAC Double Gleam. Anybody remember this? Arna Elaine talked about this all the time. And recently, Jessica Braun has talked about this. Arna Elaine talked about it so much. And I was like, I want to try it. And other people did too, but I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. It just looked so beautiful when she applied it. And I was like, I want that so much. But MAC highlighters are like $38. And for me, I was like, I don't want to spend that on a highlighter. Like, that's not worth it to me. And I was like, I'm not spending $38 on a highlighter. But I did get a gift card from my sister-in-law probably to Ulta one year. And I was like, I know what I'm getting. And I don't know why this. All of the things you could get at Ulta, I was like, I have to have this. And this is what I bought. Was the highlighter from MAC in Double Gleam. So we're going to apply this to the cheekbones. But this is a product that I do still enjoy, and I do feel like I've gotten a lot of use out of it. Like you can see in the middle, it's a little bit like the pan's a little bit funky. So I've definitely used this. I do like to make sure I really buff this into the skin though. Okay. I think that's all we're going to do with that. But this is one this is definitely a hunted down product. I waited for my chance to get it and I got it. And I still love it. I'm actually going to do my lips next. They're feeling a little bit like they need some stuff on them. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my lip product next before the eyes. The Essence Stay Waterproof. What does this say? The Essence Stay 8-Hour Lip Liner Waterproof. Now, I think they have since repackaged these. The last time I was at Meijer, I think that these were in different packaging. But are they the same? Are they any good? Let me know. But these are ones that I went out and bought like all of them at different times. I think I got one or two, and then I went back and I was like, I really, really, really like these. I'm going to buy more. And I actually have a red one of this as well, because these were no joke. These stayed on. It's a little retractable lip liner, and they stay on 8 hours, like waterproof. They are amazing. Now, my only problem when I wear these sometimes is that if I have this on and I don't fill in my full, like fill in the lip with it, and I just like lip line and then fill it in with lipstick, my lipstick will start to wear off, and then this will still be on there, and I just like have the lip liner on. So I do prefer to kind of fill in everything, make it a little more even with this product. But these are amazing. I did go buy these because of a recommendation, and every time. I didn't have a lot of lip liners, and that's just not something I like to spend a lot of money on. I would rather spend it on, you know, eyeshadow palettes, foundations, things like that. So for a lip liner of like $2.99, $3.99 a piece, whatever these were, and I was like, good deal, good, I have to have these. So like I said, I went and bought a couple, and then I bought more shades. So I'm actually going to fill my lips in and just use this as a lipstick, because the other thing I have to put on is lip gloss. And I think I'm just going to go with the shade 2 Tea Time. Now I'm just going to take this pencil and line or fill in my lips. I don't normally do this. I normally just apply a lipstick, but we'll see. That is a much more cool tone shade than I was expecting. But yeah, you can feel that this is really going to be locked in and really going to stay, so that's nice. For lip gloss, the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs. I ended up purchasing these probably a couple Christmases ago, and they had little gift sets and things like that, and I bought, they have like 5 of the small ones. Like these all came in that little, like a little tin. And this is the classic, the Fenty Glow. I don't have any of like the cream ones or anything like that. So there's the Fenty Glow shade. And this is in the shade Sweet Mouth. I think I'm actually going to put this one on to lighten up this lip liner a little bit. That lip liner is still really dark. Oh my goodness. Okay. The Fenty Beauty Lip Gloss. These were my first product from Fenty that I had tried. And they had such rave reviews, and people talked about the smell. The smell of these lip glosses all the time. And you ever have that moment where you're like, I don't necessarily need to have lip gloss, but I need to know what this smells like. That was how I felt about this. I was like, what does it smell like? What is the smell? So many people had talked about like how this smells like, you know, lip smackers, like that's kind of the throwback. And I was like, okay, I have to smell it. And I ended up getting them all on sale. Like this set was on sale after Christmas or whatever. So I probably just could have done with the bigger ones, but I wanted to try the other shades. So they are really good value though. The mini of this actually contains more product than a full-size Buxom lip gloss. And then the full size of this is actually twice the size, twice the weight of a full-size Buxom lip gloss. So if you think about it that way, it really is a good value to get the Fenty lip glosses. They're pretty, they're nice, they're fun, they smell good. It's a good value. So I do think that those were something I don't regret trying. I think that they're pretty, they're nice, they're fun, they're cute. I do think I'm going to change this lip liner color though, and then put the gloss over that, and I will be, this is just a little too purpley for the peach I put on my cheeks. So we'll do that, and we'll continue on to eyes. Okay, that feels a little better with this whole cheek situation we have going. I did change it to the shade Mood, and I did put the Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb over top. So that feels better at this moment. Moving on to eyes. For the eyes, we're using the Sigma Enchanted palette. This was solely bought on recommendations. Everybody talked about the Sigma palettes. The Sigma palettes were the thing. And specifically this, the Enchanted, I'd heard so much about. And I did wait for a sale. I waited for the holiday sale, and I did buy 6 of these all at once. I have them over here. In sets of 3. They had like the colorful ones all together, and then like all the neutral ones together. I'd never even tried them before, and I bought all 6. And this is the one that started it though, so that's why I've chosen this palette. I waited and I waited and I waited, and I kept getting on the site, and I kept looking on the site, and I was like, are they gonna have a sale? Like, they have to have some sort of sale here. And they did, and I waited and I got it. But this is what it looks like. and I'm going to use this today. I will say that the Sigma formula is not what I was expecting. It was something I absolutely had to have. I don't regret buying them, but it is the kind of product that I was like, maybe I should have looked for more swatches or things like that. Like, I just watched people's reviews and I was like, okay, cool. It's a weird formula, I think. The shimmers are all different. Like, this shimmer is not as shimmery. Excuse me. This shimmer is not as shimmery as like these. And then like this one over here is not as pigmented as these. And there are different formulas within the one palette of the shimmer formula, and it kind of threw me off. That's not what I was expecting. You know, the recommendations were definitely there, and it's not wrong. I don't know. This was that kind of product that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So we're going to go ahead and do a look with this. I'm going to start with the shade Terra in the crease. I'm going to use the brush that comes with it. Everything's like clashing hard with the outfit I have on. So that's alright. Pretend that I'm not wearing blue and red. Okay, I think on the lid, I'm going to use this like yellowy green shade over here. So I think for the crease and outer corner, I'm actually going to go into this evergreen shade here. I think that's where we're going to go. It's going to be kind of a different direction here. Let's see what we can come up with. I feel like that might be part of my issue with these palettes, is that I kind of feel like I'm getting the same look every time. And there are plenty of choices. I mean, plenty of choices, but there's something about the way I tend to pair them together that is not working out, you know? Ooh, very pigmented. That is the shade Evergreen. So we're going to pack that on the outer edge. Other eye. I had heard nothing but positive reviews about this, but I find with eyeshadow that tends to be the thing, like the reason somebody else may love it is that it's like really calm, it's really, you know, blendable, it's really buildable. Maybe the reason that I'm like, it's okay, you know? I don't think we're looking for the same thing in an eyeshadow palette. Okay, this green's definitely gotten away from us a little bit. I've just been building it up in the outer corner. And stalking. Okay. Going back in with Terra, which was that warm orangey shade. The terracotta, if you will. I'm going to do a little bit more of that. And see, that's what part of me wonders if if the brushes are my problem with these. I have other Sigma brushes. I like Sigma brushes, but I think there's something about that this is like super fluffy and then this is super flat that I'm like, I need an in-between. I need something in between for the other parts of my eye. See, look how much more pigmented that side is now than this side. User error. I like the Sigma palettes, and that's why I've tried to continue to use them and not been like, oh, I don't like it, because I think it's just a different formula than other things I'm used to. Because by the time I'm done, I always like the way that it looks, but it just takes me a while to get there. Okay, there's that. Now I think with an even smaller fluffy brush, I'm going to go into the black shade in here, the Wicked shade. I'm going to put a little bit of that on the outer corner as well. Now on top of that, I'm going to take the same brush and go back into the Evergreen shade and apply that all over the outer corner. I'm going to take that brush with the orangey shade, the Terra shade, one more time over everything here. And that's my other concern, is making it look muddy. I don't want to do that. Alrighty. Now normally I would just go in like straight onto this, but I am going to use, I think I'm going to grab my Anastasia eye primer and I'm going to put a touch of this on my hand. Like a touch. This and the Juvia's Place primer, like, they are no joke. Okay, I'm going to take a touch of that primer and kind of blend it onto my lid. Gonna give myself a nice blanked out base. I'm gonna apply that to the other eye now as well, just so it doesn't dry on my hand before I have a chance. We're going to apply the shade Electrum, this yellowy shade here, onto the lid. Actually got this new Sigma brush, the large shader. I'm gonna try that. Liking the brush. It is humongous. It is a large shader. I'm not mad about it though. Then I'm going to take the shade Cosmos, which is this shade right here. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm starting to see what part of my issue is with the Sigma palettes. And I'm just blending that into the matte shade here. Okay, as I'm doing this though, and seeing it on my eye and in the pan, I think that's my problem with a lot of the Sigma shades is they're darker. Like when they look pretty bright in the pan, and then when you actually apply them to your eyes, they're a little bit, the base is darker than it looks like it's going to be. You ever have those shadows where you're like, I don't know what the problem is with it. I don't know why it's not my favorite, but there's something. I think this is my problem with it. I think I'm beginning to see it. And then like the lightest shade, the lighter shade in here, like this is kind of like gold shade, but it's not super metallic-y. I kind of want to pat that on the top. Let's see. So I feel like that just dulls down the glitter though. But yeah, looking at this in the pan and on my eye, like this was white. You know, I had like that white base on. There's nothing else on this brush. But that turned out a little deeper than I thought. I think that's the issue. I think we're beginning to find out why these aren't my favorite. They're so pretty. Like, they're so pretty. Okay, there are those. The pink, the green, and like the yellowy color. And here they are in here. Like, they just don't look as poppy. Like, there's a darker base to them. I think that might be it. I think that might be my problem with these. I think we're beginning to figure it out. Okay, on the lower lashes, I'm going to take, you know what? I'm going to go with these like pinky purples here. I'm going to take the shade Budding. I'm going to go with all shimmer. I normally don't. I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to go with these two shades right here. Take the top one, the Budding shade, right here. And then Plume, which is that darker one, out here. And take the shade Sunburst in the inner corner. Kind of blending that up and down. I mean, I really feel like all of a sudden I'm just like having an aha moment. Like I had no idea that was how I felt about these. I had no idea. And I think that's it. I really do think that the undertone of those shades is dark. And yeah, I do think that is my problem. Like, it has the nice deep shades out here, but even the lid shades, like, they're just like a deeper, murkier shade when I'm expecting like really bright. Like, the texture is nice, but I think that's it. I think that's my problem with those. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my MAC highlighter, and I'm going to put this on the inner corner just to give it a little more spice, a little more pizzazz. Okay. So I think that is my thing with the Sigma palette, is the undertone is a little deep. And I've noticed it with the Cinderella palette as well, with the two purples over here. These two purples had that same thing where I thought it was going to be like a brighter color and it wasn't. I kind of feel like the Enchanted is going that way too. So, and I think that that's my thing, is I expect it to be brighter and it always looks like dull, like it always looks a little darker. And as long as I know that, like if I've kind of figured it out, then I can definitely pair it with things that'll make me like it a little more. But I think I finally put my finger on the thing, because this looks nice. Like, the quality is nice, they're easy to use, but it never turns out like I think it's going to, and I think that that's why. Problem solved. Okay. Liquid eyeliner. I have the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Waterproof. Now I've had the regular one and I bought that on everybody's recommendation. And then they came out with the waterproof in Blackest Black. And this is the second one I have purchased. Full price at the store, walk in, and this is the one I replace. If I need it, I buy it. I don't have a bunch of backups of it because I feel like something like this I feel like it could dry out just sitting in my collection. So when I want it, I want it to be, you know, a fresh one. So we're going to apply this onto the upper lashes. This is definitely a product I think is well worth the hype. Okay, the eyeliner wings are a little bit out of control today. We're just going to move past that. For pencil eyeliners, the LA Girl eyeliners are my absolute favorite. I honestly don't remember who I heard talking about these. I don't remember what put this on my radar, but once it was there, like, these are my hands down absolute favorite. So these are all the ones that I had initially bought. I have others now. I have like metallic ones and things like that. But I did go through and grab out the ones that were like the classic Shockwave neon lip liners and eyeliners. These are the eyeliners. And these are actually lip liner. But I use them all as eyeliner. And I've said before, I've not had any irritation. I've never had any issues. So that's what I use them for. So I'm going to pick one of these. I grabbed them all out because I wasn't sure where I was going with the eyeshadow look. Ooh. But now that we have it done, I feel like you can't even really see that purple on the bottom. I think I'm going to go with the shade Gotcha. This is actually my most used and I didn't realize that. It's like the tiniest little pencil. I think I'm going to go over the top of that with my yellow one in the shade Screamin'. Just to make it a little bit of a brighter green color. And for mascara, we're going to finish this off. I do have a lot of fallout here from that eyeshadow, so I would probably do my eyeshadow first using the Sigma palette next time, but it is what it is for the moment. So for mascara, I actually have two. One that I think is worth all the hype that it got, and one that is not so much. Essence Lash Princess. Right now, everybody's talking about it. It is well worth the talk. It is well worth the price. Most places you can get this for about $5, give or take a little bit. So I love this. I love all of the Lash Princess. There's like 5 different ones to choose from. All amazing. And I'm going to pair that with the Voluminous Lash Paradise. Now, I have owned probably 3 or 4 tubes of this. I don't like this mascara. I have this as a newer tube. I'm going to try to use it up. But this mascara dries out so quickly and it actually flakes so badly on me. I mean, the Essence one kind of smudges in the outer corner, not gonna lie. But I have never had a mascara flake as much as this Lash Paradise does. I'm talking like showers of mascara down my face. I think this is a new tube. I had like a backup of it and I threw it in here because this is really, really wet. I don't think I've used this one yet. In about 2 days, it'll be dried out. But so there we have it. A full face of makeup that I went on the hunt for, that I had to have when it came out. And I will say most of this was a win. I think everything that I pulled back out, they're all things that I still love. Was it worth me, you know, going to, you know, 50 stores to try to find it? Probably not. But there are things that I really do enjoy and I'm glad that I have most of them. The only thing that was a little like, is the Sigma palette. And I think I've just figured out why it is iffy for me. And I think it is those shimmers. It's the shades that they end up being on the eyes. So that's more of a personal preference, more of a personal thing than like the product itself. But everything else, I would recommend all these things that I've talked about today. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of weird, funky video. I will say the lips are still looking really nice with that Essence lip liner and the Fenty Beauty. Still looking really good. I think the only thing that was like a super dud, the Flower Beauty Blush bombs. Boo. No, don't. No, not even worth it. Not even worth putting on my face today. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.